welcome back. So I'm here today to show you our keychains that we worked on in this video. You will see everything that I did as far as these are concerned, but I wanted to show them in person and just show you how cute they are and the size. These are all available at Camipaige Boutique. Packs of 10 will get you 10% off. These are all, I go over it in the video, but these are etched, so you don't have to do any kind of vinyl work, which is, oh, thank God. So anyways, thank you, Brooke, for your smart mind, but I hope you enjoy it. So we're starting off with all of these acrylic blanks that I got at Camipaige Boutique. I love these. They are so convenient as far as the engraving. When she introduced these on her live in her Facebook group, I was like, yes, that is exactly what I want to do, and that's exactly how I would want to do a these particular keychains, because it gets so annoying with the trying to put vinyl on, trying to cut the vinyl in those smaller pieces. So I got this box of alcohol ink pens, markers, I guess, at Sam's, and I will definitely try to find a particular box that is available on Amazon or anywhere else that you could purchase something like this. But I thought it would be the perfect way to color in all of these, engraved pieces on this keychain. Now, these are, they're kind of, like, that's why I said etched in the beginning, because to me that's what it feels like. But it's just that it has this area where you could put all of the color. So you could use paint pens, you could use these alcohol inks, you could use a marker, you could paint them if you wanted to. But the lines that you need to paint have the paper already gone off of them, right? So all you have to do is color in where there is no paper. So you leave the paper on the other side, and then all of those blank spots, you just color them in however you want, with whatever color or, theme you're wanting to go with. So with the apples, I used like a lime green color to go over that. I thought that it would kind of give it a different type of look than like a paint or something along those lines. And it does give a little bit different look in the end. It may not be for everybody, but I really liked it. So anyways, then I used with the pumpkins, I used the black where the jack-o'-lantern face would be, and then with the lips it was all where those where the lip outline was, and then all of like the wrinkles inside the mouth and where the teeth are. And so all I did was just color that black. I mean, obviously you could go with any color you wanted to, but I was kind of going with like a basic look on all of these, so that you could really get a feel for exactly what the themes were. So I'm using Resin Rockers UV, and you could definitely use epoxy, but I just wanted to use the UV because it just is so much faster and easier to kind of blow through these really quickly. And I actually had a different color than this red, and I decided, no, I'll just go with red. But I wish I would have maybe gone with a different color just to be a little bit different. But anyways, I just thought with the drips and everything, maybe the red was appropriate, especially for Halloween, that kind of thing. But what we did was flipped it over, took the paper off, and then sanded it down. Now, it's important to sand these down because you want something where that UV resin is going to attach, right? You want somewhere that it is, with that a little bit of sanding, it is going to, it will adhere to that acrylic a lot better in that way. For the sake of not wasting too much, I just went ahead and used the same little cup there and put this same red glitter and poured that over the red apple. So I used Sookie from Peachy Olive Glitter. I used that for the lips and for the apple, and I just think it's just a perfect, you know, bright red, I think, for, you know, projects along these lines. I would suggest getting some of these silicone, like, brushes or these little pencils. I think you use them for like clay and stuff, but they work out so awesome for these moments of trying to do some of these UV or even just epoxy or whatever. They just allow you to have just a real nice point to kind of get into the crevices and get into, you know, all the little, you know, places where these might be cut out, you know, and that you can get that resin in there. So I did leave them under the lamp for quite a long time. I don't know if it was the thickness, the glitter, the what, or I'm pretty sure it was my lamp. It has been kind of failing me in the recent projects. And so I actually ended up taking everything outside in the end, because that was like, you know, God created the UV light that of all UV lights. So I thought, you know, just I had some sun. Why don't we just go stick it outside? And that worked out so awesome. So I'm going to be in the search for a new UV lamp here soon. If you have any suggestions, let me know, because I bought this one because this UV resin actually, it suggests you don't use a very powerful lamp. And so I did a lot of investigation on different lamps and things for the wattage and whatnot. But I don't know if it was the quality or the UV, I mean the wattage of this one, but I would not suggest this lamp for sure. The one thing that I did like about it was that it was an open bottom, so I didn't have to stick anything inside. I could just pick it up, put it over a tumbler, put it over, you know, whatever I was working on. And so that was kind of why I went with this style. Anyways, so what I did there was what we are doing here is putting, you know, we're flipping it over, taking that paper off the back, and it does look like we have not done anything, but this is actually the clear side. I have left the paper on the other side where the engraving has happened, and I am putting, you know, doing a little bit of sanding on the exposed acrylic, clear acrylic, and then I am, you know, putting that glitter on there, so we are going to see a reflection on the other side of that glitter. And once again, I am using that little silicone brush thing to kind of get right to those edges. And that's why this is why I really like to use the UV, because I feel like you can get a fast cure. You can, you know, seal that in. And with epoxy, which it's perfect, you know, it is more than capable of doing this with epoxy, but it just with the UV, with the epoxy, it will start going over the sides if you put too much. And with the UV resin, you can kind of shock it into place, you know, kind of put that UV lamp over it really quick, and it will, you know, kind of put everything in place, cure it so fast before it has the opportunity to kind of spill over the edges. And one thing that these are available in with no hole and with a hole. So I guess if you wanted to do like a badge reel or something, you could use it for that without the hole, or you could drill your own hole if that's what you want to do. But I am not, I love the hole in there. I usually have these little silicone knobby things that I stick in there that I got on Zindy.com. But for some reason I did not use it, or I just thought I was better than that. I don't know. But so I did have a couple of them that the resin went into the hole, but I was able to drill it out or dig it out, you know, and it was fine. But I ended up using, gosh, I cannot remember what color this is, but I will definitely have it linked below, because I know the jar, but I'm just trying to still learn all of my peachy colors. And I had it right on the tip of my tongue, and I think I forgot. Anyways, this is a really cool, like, iridescent. It has purple, it has teal, it has, you know, all of that iridescent look to it that I thought would come through on the other side for the witch one. I didn't want to go too dark or like too white, but I thought this was a very good mix for the opportunity of kind of getting different colors, but also staying in the lighter form of glitter. So here you'll see that I actually set the lamp on there again. I was like, I need to do another shot at this, but this is where I am kind of peeling off all of these papers. You saw me do it with the pumpkin, and then I start doing it with all the rest of these pieces. And all it is you're just peeling off all of that paper that was keeping you from putting the marker or the alcohol ink or whatever it was in that area. So then now you have that free space where the glitter is going to come through. So this one, I really loved the look of the green, that it wasn't so bright. It just kind of gave it this like faded kind of deadly look to it. But I know that, you know, a lot of people love that bright green, and you know, I would definitely say do whatever you want to do in this instance. You know, maybe get some glow paint or something like that, but you could really go you know, wherever you wanted to with this particular look. But I really liked kind of the dullness that it made it look like it had with using that green alcohol ink that wasn't as bright as like a paint pen would have been. So here I am using a white paint pen. So now I am using a paint pen, but this is so that I could paint the teeth. I don't think that it would come across if you did not get in there and paint these teeth. I mean, you could definitely leave it like that. It's, you know, obviously whatever you want to do, but I think that painting the teeth white or whatever color you wanted to paint them, it really added an element of like, you knew exactly what it was. You know, it's these lips with these drips and the teeth and everything. So, but I will say that I was very, very careful. Now, obviously, like every single time, every one of my videos is sped up. I always speed them up just for the sake of time. If not, like this video was 2 hours long, and I tried to minimize it as much as possible with speeding things up and cutting things out and skipping over parts and things like that. But I did take my time with this because I wanted to make sure that I didn't get any white in those lines, because if you get white inside of those lines, then the teeth kind of go away, right? That's the whole point, is that's why you did those lines in the beginning, was so that you could have that definition. So just take your time. I promise, if you take your time, it's a lot easier in the beginning than it is to have to go and fix your mistakes in the end. The other thing about the paint pen is you want to make sure that you don't have huge amounts of ink or paint on the tip of that, because it will bleed through, you know, it'll bleed down into those lines. So you want to make sure that you're kind of like wiping it off, or just keeping it as, you know, kind of clean as possible, I guess. And I used my weeding pen to kind of get some of that paint out of those little cracks there, because I wanted to make sure that, you know, we weren't getting any white in those lines in spacing the teeth out. So we keep going with all of these, you know, keychains, right? So what we're doing is we're peeling off of that paper, and you want to make sure, because this paper is going to be kind of inset into a lot of little holes and little notches and things that were, you know, that were exposed, but then there's paper that kind of was like pushed in. So you want to make sure that you're getting all of those little pieces of paper out of all of those little crevices that might be in there. And I did get a little bit of the resin that kind of pushed over the side there, and so I just used my razor blade and kind of cut that out, and everything was fine after that. So now I am going to set these out, and I am going to dome them, right? So I'm going to take the UV resin and just put it on top and cover up all of that painting that we did right in the beginning. So all I'm going to do is take my little silicone tool, and I'm going to push all around the edges and push that UV resin everywhere to cover up, to seal in and to cover up, you know, that top part, so that we have kind of smooth edges on both sides of the keychain here. So here I had a little bit of issue with the paint kind of flowing into these lines. So all I did was take just a Sharpie and just kind of filled in a little bit of those lines, and it was perfectly fine. So here I used a body reamer. I think it's used in like tool for like cars. Anyways, I'll have it linked down below, but it was something that was suggested by Cami and Nick at Camipaige Boutique, and it actually really worked out really well for getting this, getting kind of the epoxy pushed out of that hole. And then once I was able to get it kind of pushed through, I was able to take my my X-Acto knife or whatever, and I was able to kind of pick all of that resin out of those holes there. I also put a coat of the resin on top of the glitter that we put on the back side, just so that we could get a smooth, clear surface of that glitter. And I did this to all of those keychains. And like I said, I just thought I would bring this. These are a couple of different ones that I was working on as well, but the video was getting way too long, so I didn't record those. But this is me using the natural UV light, because, that's what God intended, right? For us to make keychains and cure them in the sun. Anyways, I tell you though, the sun really is the best UV lamp. If you can get them cured in the sun, it's really the best. Anyways, I had such a hard time with this particular one. I don't know if when I cut the, I don't know. I don't know that I ever looked, but the hole or something must have had some kind of sharp edge, because I kept doing this over and over and over again, and the string was breaking off like every single time that I fed it through, and I pulled it all the way through so that I could secure the thread. I mean, the string, the plastic string or whatever, and as soon as I would pull it taut, I would pull it out, and then everything would break. I would clip it, and then all the beads would come off. And so then I finally somehow, and this was another moment where I was like, forget it. I just put them off to the side, because I thought I got it like 3 or 4 times, and it just kept breaking on me. So I was like, you know what, I'm just going to try the rest of these, because maybe I completely forgot how to do these beads or something. I don't know. But I end up, doing like a loop knot in the, where I put both sides of the string in the hole, and then pull it through the other loop on the other side. And then I take the string and push it back through the hole, and then I tie a knot with the other side. Instead of looping it back through, I just tie a knot in it as well. Then I thread the beads on there. And I did a keychain ornament type thing last year where I did some bead work, and I really went into explaining how to do it. And there are many more people that know how to do this. I would just say, just tie as many knots as you can, stretch out the wire, the string as much as you can, so that you can hide all of your knots and things like that. But I do feed the string back through the beads, so that you're kind of securing it once you attach it to the keychain on the top, and pull it down to the bottom, and then tie it in knots there, and then you can trim it off, right? And so once I got all of the beads on there on this one, and I was able to cut it and stretch it, and everything was fine, I was like, okay, let me go back and try this again. And as soon as I did, they broke again. So I swear, I was like, okay, is this one, like, what is happening here, And so I'm pretty sure that in hindsight that there was some kind of hard piece that was in that hole or something like that. So, but I ended up finally getting it secured enough to hold the beads, and nothing, it didn't break again, and that kind of thing. So But we all have those struggles. I'm telling you, we all have them. They all happen. This one I actually took, instead of doing the keychain and the beads, because I didn't have anything that was orange or black, or I didn't think that the buffalo check was really where I wanted to be. So I just took one of these little pom-poms, and I've had these for a while. I just got a pack of them on Amazon, and I've used them several times. But you can do different things with them. You know, you don't have to do just beads. I'm going to slow this down and zoom in so that you can see exactly how I tie this string and how I feed the beads through and how I tie the knots and everything like that.
Like this. Like this. Like this. Like this.
So hopefully watching that whole process there kind of helped you out. If you do want a more in-depth and much more close-up look, I do have another video where I do another keychain with some bead work and everything. So there are definitely a lot of videos and teachings of how to do this, but you can also just kind of try on your own and kind of see exactly how many times you can kind of pull things through and really make things secure and, you know, carry it around on your person just to kind of see how it goes. That's the best way, in my opinion, before you start selling them and whatnot. So anyways, it's just feeding that back through the beads and making some knots and making sure that you're really stretching it taut, because that way that string will go back up in and those knots will go back up into those beads so that they will hide that, and you'll just kind of have a clean, sleek look there. And I went over before in the other video about how I use this ring that comes with a lot of those little those rings, and you use it to open up the ring to put on the keychain or the tassels or whatever. And there they are, so cute. I love the sparkle. I love the little, I love adding the beads because I think you can really kind of go into the different colors. And with these being engraved, you can add whatever color, whatever form of medium you want to use to fill in these holes. I just think these would be a great little gift to add with your Halloween tumblers or teacher gifts, or just in general, like I was thinking about you kind of thing. But these are a lot of fun. They're all available at CamipaigeBoutique.com. Paxton 10 will get you 10% off. I love that apple. I love the look of the way that green looks, just so kind of gives this dead look, Anyways, the Sookie, beautiful red on both of those. Works out perfectly. Anyways, like, subscribe, join my Facebook group, comment down below, let me know what you think, and I'll see you next time.